morning. I just about hear the music. I finally got the music setting right, at long last. Good morning, everyone. Should I put a bit of a border on? I think I probably should. There we are. I'll tell you what, let's not do that one. Let me do this one, which you haven't seen before. Yeah, that'll carry on for a little while. Good morning, everyone. How the devil are you doing? I'm going to say a very quick good morning to our friend Mary Mick. I changed a few of these. I was awake too early this morning and I had time to play around, so we've changed a few of the names. Rather than Chris Ford, we are Christmas Ford. We've got Jingle Bells. Oh, the end to my wit and mirth is never ending. Peter McKenna, I don't think I did one for Peter. No, he's still sick, but good morning, Peter. Thank you very much indeed for being here. And thanks for making me look so huge on your TV. I can't imagine anything worse than watching me on a TV. So for the final time this year, for the final time in 2024, good morning. Good morning. How the devil are you all doing this fine day? Here we are, the final show of 2024. This is actually show 225 of the year. 225, and it's show 852 overall, and they said it couldn't be done. Mick says the sound is very low at this end. My sound or the music? Hope it's not me. Let me have a very quick look. No, my audio settings all look okay here, so maybe I should stand a little closer to the mic. I say stand, I'm sitting, obviously. Peter McKenna, you could have dressed up as Santa. Well, you know, from the neck up-ish. You know, I've made a bit of an effort. A couple of quick notes before we actually crack on to the show. I received a message last night from our friend Mick Turner saying he wouldn't be here for today's show because his wife had been taken pretty seriously ill. She's had a seizure of some sort, apparently. She's past the worst, but our best wishes to Mrs. Normal for a fast and full recovery. And also not sure if our friend Footy is going to be here today either. He's got a meeting with the Lighthouse Club, a caseworker trying to sort out his current financial situation. And given that I've not seen him yet, just to let you know, for those of you that are aware, or that aren't aware rather, we've done a bit of a fundraiser for him. The money will be going hopefully tomorrow. It's taken a while to unravel. It's a whole thing. I won't bore you with the details, but yeah, hopefully some point tomorrow he should be getting a few quid from the Breakfast Show and hopefully cheer him up a little bit in the run up to Christmas. So for all of those that have been supportive of him, I know Peter McKenna was on that very, very early doors, Dan Cullen as well, but also Gary Muirhead and so on down the line, and Alistair Grierson as well. For all of you guys, thank you very much indeed on his behalf. Obviously, he won't hear about this until after the show is over and done with for a year. But I'm sure he'll thank us in his own way. You get the idea anyway. So without further ado, I am going to do away with the music because, you know, there's only so much of that you can put up with. There we are. That's gone. So without further ado, and for the final time this year, I'm going to roll the intro, post the question of the day, and get this show on the road. It is Friday, the 20th of December. Thank the Lord. Welcome to the Breakfast Show. I am your host, Mark Anthony. For the final time this year, I am the Walrus of Demolition. In today's show, Komatsu sparks interest with its brand spanking new electric mini excavator. Sacre Bleu, we have some French demolition action, monitoring road construction remotely, and we've got a message of festive joy from the mighty JCB. Plus, in my morning monologue today, something a little bit different in terms of both content and location. Also, when we get to the after show bit of the show, I will be sharing a link that will allow you to hop on the show if you so desire. If you do decide to join me on the show, need to have my phone handy for this. If you do decide to join me on the show, please make sure you're not doing anything else. I don't want you to endanger yourself just for your 15 seconds of fame. Make sure you're somewhere relatively quiet because we don't want to listen to people babbling in the background. And ultimately, if you're coming on by phone, make sure your phone is in that orientation there. It's sideways, not upright, because otherwise you'll look really strange on the screen. But before we get to any and all of that, we do have the small matter of today's mystery machine to decipher. So let me play the appropriate animation, and I'll show you what it is you have to contend with. Yeah, and our mystery machine today looks like this. There you are. Can you identify the mystery machine from that? I'll leave it on the screen for just a second, and I will also change the layout because that looks weird. There we are. That's your mystery machine for the day. If you've got any ideas on what that is, I'm looking for a make and a model. That would be good. Please let us have your comments in the comments section. And also, while you're doing that, I've just posted the question of the day, but I'm going to remind you of it very, very quickly because we have an animation that does that. So here comes that. That's the wrong one. It should say Christmas food. Why did that not come up? I don't know. It's what is your favourite Christmas food is the question of the day. What is your favourite Christmas food? Now, I realise that the mere mention of Christmas brings to mind gigantic golden turkey, roughly the size of an ostrich. And I love turkey as much as the next man. But what about the other stuff? Personally, given the choice of turkey or stuffing, I'm choosing stuffing all day long. I'm not a fan of pigs in blankets, and I eat Brussels sprouts through gritted teeth. But I'd happily eat my body weight in either mince pies or Christmas pudding. Both, if you're given the opportunity. And speaking of Christmas pudding, are you a brandy butter person? Do you prefer cream? Do you go custard? There are people in the world that have custard with their Christmas pudding. Are you one of those? Those are the questions that we need answered in this part of the final show of 2024. What is your favourite Christmas food? Mick says, turkey is a bit rare in Malta, so we'll be having the swordfish and rabbit stew. That couldn't be further up my street if you tried. Gonna say, I love food, as you can probably tell by my figure. I really, if I was asked to rank the best food in the world, I would probably go Italian first, but Spanish would be a very close second. And I had a paella once, which was obviously seafood, but rabbit in there as well. Man alive. That is some fine thing. Funnily enough, last time I was in Italy, I had rabbit there as well. Don't eat rabbit in the UK for some reason. Don't know why that is. Lack of availability, which I don't understand, given the fact that they grow wild here and stuff. Peter McKenna just said, "Oh, drools." He says, "Rabbit stew." Yeah, I've not had rabbit stew in Jesus, 30 years probably. Question of the day, Brussels, turkey, and well-buttered mash. You're a mash person with your Christmas dinner, are you? So here's the thing. When I was growing up, we used to have roast potatoes and mash. I don't know whether that was my mother trying to fill us up on the cheap, but yeah, we used to have both types of potatoes. Well, I say both. We didn't have chips as well, but you get the idea. And in answer to the mystery machine, Peter McKenna is going for the MF50D Digger. It is not one of those. Let me show you a bit more. There you are. That's the other part of the machine. I'm looking for a make and a model, if you would be so kind. Let me take that away very quickly because I do need to crack on because we've got the show starting proper in just a second. So about 4 weeks ago, I started to wonder if we would have enough content to see us through to the end of the year. Obviously, with Bauma being next year, a lot of companies are sitting on their hands, keeping their powder dry, not releasing too much. But we've done okay. We've had to dredge up a few older videos, which I don't think anyone's really objected to. But it turns out I was wrong about Komatsu. Komatsu I'm sure they will be celebrating Christmas, but they've decided now is a good time to unveil a brand spanking new electric mini excavator. Thank you, Komatsu, for saving my bacon and quite possibly my turkey. Here's what it looks like. Good morning to Dan Cullen, who has joined us in. He arrived saying, that's a hot-looking mini excavator. It is, I agree. Going back to our question of the day, which is about what is your favourite Christmas food? Jim Turner offers up chestnuts roast. No, I'm not going to do that. Chestnuts roasted at home on the fire, roast sausage meat and onion. Oh, and Christmas pudding and double cream, hot or cold pudding. Fantastic. I will show you. I'll come back to that in just a moment, actually. Mick says, been doing a bit of packing for the flight. The hound's been putting his tennis balls and toys in the case. Now he's got the hump because I chucked them all out. I bought a boxer dog for my wife's 21st birthday. And those of you that are dog owners will know exactly what I mean. If I got a suitcase out and started packing because I was going away, he stopped talking to me. Now, I realise that's a ridiculous thing to say because dogs don't do much in the way of talking, but he would literally, if I got a suitcase out and started packing, he would blank me until I left. More than happy to welcome me back home again, but would blank me entirely. Mystery Machine. Let me go back to Mystery Machine, which looks like this. We've had a couple of guesses. I'm trying to find where they begin. Bear with me. Chris Ford reckons it could be an Evelyn Barford RD400. Good guess, but it's not right. Peter McKenna says the City Master 1650 ZE. It's not one of those. He also says it looks like a road sweeper. It is not a road sweeper. And stand by your beds because Gary Muirhead has just arrived in the chat. Good morning, Gary. Did I? Yes, there you are. See, I played around with some of the names. Santa Muirhead. Leave a sable under the tree for me or something. Chris Ford reckons our Mystery Machine could well be a Euclid R34. It's not one of those. Let me show you a smidgen more. That doesn't really help a great deal at all, does it? But keep the guesses coming. We're looking for a make and a model if you would be so kind. Yeah, we're going off to France in a second for a bit of French demolition. So Mon Dieu and Sacre Bleu, stick around. I'll be right back after this.
If you are enjoying this episode, please consider supporting the show. You can leave us a tip at buymeacoffee.com/demolition news.
Mick says, wouldn't mind so much, but I got him a harness with a backpack on it for all his old... Now, here's the thing. Now, Danny Baker, if you're watching this, I apologise for having stolen this from you, but I admire you enormously, and I think I'm allowed to do this. You know that word that you've put there, Mick? The final word there is tot. Okay? And I know where you were going with this, but there is no actual spelling for the word toot. You know, crap, toot. Maybe it's a southern thing, but toot. Because T-O-T is tot, T-U-T is tut, T-O-O-T is toot. There is no spelling for the word toot. Thank you, Danny Baker, and may you live long and prosper, my friend. Going back to the question of the day: Christmas pudding with brandy sauce. Yeah, see, I don't do boozy things. Don't like sherry trifle and all that sort of stuff. Sorry, I'm late. Just finished work, and now I'm driving home for Christmas. Gary Muirhead coming over, all Chris Rea. Well done, sir. Mystery Machine, not an effing clue. Jim Turner reckons it looks like a snowblower. Maybe it does. Let me show it to you again. There's a little bit more. Does that help at all? Bet it doesn't. And Jim Turner says, I'd say tat. Down south, mate. Down south is toot. But there's no spelling for it. And I don't know why that is. It's just, maybe it's because it's a made-up word. I honestly don't know. I promised you some French demolition. And I'm a man of my word, unlike so many in this sector of mine. So here we go. I'm sorry. Mick says, what did that charge... I'll come back to it in a minute. What did that charge run? I don't know. I'd have to go and have another look, but it's on the YouTube channel of Komatsu Europe, so if you want to go and take a look, you can do that. Dan Cullen, going back to the Mystery Machine, says, bet it's an American thing. It is. And as Jim Turner wins today's Mystery Machine because he says, it's the fucking Mystery Machine, you crafty fucker. Yeah, it actually is. It's the Mystery Machine. Oh, dear. That makes me laugh so much. I actually had a machine standing by to be our Mystery Machine for today, and then it just occurred to me, well, maybe I should do that as well. Our friend Wolfie has just joined us from across the pond. Good morning. Dan Cullen going on about our question of the day, which is, what is your favourite Christmas food? Really got no answer. I'll eat and like almost anything, he says. And he says, I'll eat till I can't. I'm guessing that's can't eat no more, but it says it can't rat no more. But apparently, Dan likes eating rats, presumably. I don't believe that's the case. Mark Whiting is in the house. I think I changed his name for today as well. Yeah. No, that's not the right one. There we go. That's the one I was after. What did I go with? Come on, you swine, play. Yeah, the Christmas miracle that is Mark Whiting. I was so bored this morning. I had a decent night's sleep last night, woke up and thought, yeah, we'll go. Let's have a look. Google Lens got a van. I should have put two and two together. You're using Google Lens, are you? You're cheating a charitable... Well, it's not that charitable. But you get the idea. Good morning, everyone. Thank you very much. Chris Ford says, Scooby-Doo Mystery Machine ain't got no clue. Yeah. Yeah, I could do a Scooby-Doo impression, but I won't do that. Morning, Mark, says Dan Cullen. Good morning, everyone. What have we got? We've got another couple of bits and pieces to show you, I think. Yeah, we have. We've just been to France. We're going to Belgium in a second. Peter McKenna, cheating? I call it using my initiative. Yes, that's what I used to say when I was copying somebody in an English exam. Precisely. Yes, we're off to Belgium. Seeing a Belgian road being built kind of remotely. Have a look.
I'm Stef Vastmans. I work at Topoff in Belgium, and we are using Operation Center here in Leuven with our milling machines to track data and to follow up our job sites more closely. So we are now milling this street here in Belgium, and right now the machine itself is collecting data on how much fuel it's using, how much water it's using, the progress of how much meters and tons it has milled, and everything gets sent to me so I can follow it up and see how far we are and what we can do next. Since we use Operation Center now, we can do a lot of things more efficiently and quicker. Normally we would finish the job site and then plan transport and new fuel, etc. And now we can do that on the job site while we are doing it. We are losing less time. Normally it's quite time heavy, so we have to complete the job site and then do everything. And now we can follow it up as it's going along, so that at the end of the day we have done things more efficiently and quicker.
My name is Tom Vastmans. We're in Houthalen, the Topoff. Topoff is a milling company. It was established in 2011. We're using milling machines. We have about 25, depending on big and small ones. We have a nice mix of all of those, so we can perform all the sizes that are needed for our clients. Well, we started using Operation Center in the beginning of 2023. We use it to pinpoint the location of our machines, the fuel levels, the tools that are being used, the working mode. Well, the effects on the fleet's uptime is we can plan the maintenance better because we see the running time. And also when there's a problem, we can send a technician. It's very easy to locate the machine and send them there directly. Also for the fuel management. When we see that the fuel is getting low, we can time when it has to be refilled and where it has to be refilled. And in that way, we can use that information to our benefit to operate more efficiently.
Very smart. Mick says, had enough of that the other day. Bloody noisy things. They really are bloody noisy things. I totally agree. Peter McKenna, hey, Mark, give a sick old man a break. You are forgiven, my child. Not a problem at all. Gary Muirhead says, I would like to wish all my friends on the Breakfast Show a very happy Christmas and a happy New Year. Well, the same to you, my friend. Well, I'll be saying proper goodbyes at the end of the show, but yes, very Merry Christmas to you, one and all. Dan Cullen getting ready for a first party in 10 years. I'm assuming this is the first work party, not the first party, surely. Dan, you are a party animal. But yeah, we've met. I know how you roll. I'm sure this isn't your first party in 10 years. Please tell me that's not the case. We've got one more. Well, we've got one more proper video, and then we've got something else. Which I'm going to play you, but we'll be right back after this.
Since the finance bill came into effect in April, the construction industry has seen a surge of fuel thefts. The rising cost of living has placed an additional risk of theft by employees and contractors, as well as opportunistic thieves. By using diesel dye and placing warnings of its use, you are sending a clear message that this is your fuel.
Mick says, so to you, Gary, and to all you others on here for the laughs over the last year. Has been, hasn't it? Yeah, it's been a giggle. Well, we'll come to that in just a moment. And it is a works party, yeah, see. Dan Cullen, it's a party in his trousers every single day, but it's a work party today, which is rather different. Those fine folks at JCB have set aside all things well, not entirely, but set aside digger-related things to wish us all a very Merry Christmas. And they've done it in some style. See, I have a bone to pick with that video. I think it's good, by the way, just to be absolutely clear. But you know, if you woke up on Christmas morning and you handed your wife her gift, and it was an iron or a chip pan, which is suggesting here's a thing, now go do your work. How is that any different to handing your husband the keys to a backhoe loader? There you go, there's your present. Now go and earn me some money. Is that not the same thing? Or am I just being completely pedantic? That digger is cheap. Tat, better ones available? Really? Really? Are there? Ken Hatcher says, I'm having breakfast today. Good for you, my friend. If you can't eat and drink and be merry at Christmas, then when can you? That is pretty much the main part of this morning's show. In fact, that's about it for the whole year. I am going to roll the outro in just a second before leaping gazelle-like over into my morning monologue. If you can't stick around for that, then please do stay safe. Look after yourself, your family, your friends, and your colleagues. And I'm going to sign off, although I'm going to go over into the chat, I'm going to sign off for the main part in the style of Greg Lake. So I wish you a hopeful Christmas and a brave new year. All anguish, pain and sadness leave your heart and let your road be clear. He did it way better than me, by the way. And Peter was talking about the plastic one. So I'm glad to hear it. Wolfie says, what I want for Christmas, get the engine back into my bulldozer, but that probably won't happen until after Christmas. Go and put your feet up, my friend. Go and take some time to yourself. Dan Cullen, wish you all a Merry Christmas, a joyous New Year, and hope everyone has a wonderful time. Safe journey, Mick, to you and the Hound. Ken, Gary, Jim, Peter, Mark, Mick, Fred and Mark, what a fantastic year. It's been brilliant content. Always love the Craic. I could end it there, but I'm not going to because I've got more. I got the ex-wife a switch broom with a cable tied to it to replace the old Hoover. Notice I said ex-wife. Yeah, I did notice that. Why is it not spelt monologue? I don't know. Because I'm not American, I'm assuming. I don't know. Anywho, yes, we've done something a little bit different for the morning monologue today, which I will show you in just a moment, as soon as I can find the right button to press. So yes, just let me set the scene, because I've got to dredge this off my hard drive in just a second, because it's a big old file. So yesterday afternoon, after this show, after I'd put up the recap and after I'd got this show ready, I jumped on a plane and I flew to Lapland. Called in, had a word with the big fella in red, not this one, the other big fella in red. And while I was there, I thought, well, he's got quite an attractive cottage here. I will make use of that, and I will record a little thing for those folks back home. I'm about to show you that right now. Bear with me 1 second, and I will dredge it off the hard drive as soon as I can find it. Here we go. Festive cottage for the final morning monologue of the year. As you can probably tell by my surroundings, this will not be our usual fare. I won't be railing against authority, questioning the wisdom or sanity of the government, or calling out those in high office within this industry. In fact, this final morning monologue of 2024 will be largely looking inwards. During 2024, we broadcast an astonishing 225 episodes of our daily breakfast show. That equals our previous record that we set at the height of the COVID lockdown, and it doesn't even include the evening and the Saturday shows that we produced. During the same period, our YouTube channel was viewed for an unbelievable 126,000 hours. That's equivalent to someone watching for 5,250 days straight, or, to put it another way, more than 14 years. At the same time, we picked up an additional 27,000 new YouTube subscribers. Obviously, I'm proud of all these facts and figures, particularly as they don't even include the stats from Facebook, Instagram and LinkedIn, which are all roughly the same again. But for all that, it's been a challenging year. A lot of the people that would normally support this show with advertising pounds and dollars have been a little more reluctant to spend this past year. That's not a reflection on the show, far from it. It's a reflection on the vulnerable state of the industry right now. But we did more than just survive. In 2024, we thrived. Our consistency puts other media outlets to shame, while our content is now cited regularly throughout the industry. Together, we've proved that in the age of the influencer dancing in front of a machine for the highest bidder, there's still a demand for insightful, hard-hitting, opinionated warts-and-all journalism. I was proud to be a judge once again for the New Zealand Demolition and Asbestos Association Awards, and I was delighted to send a message via video link to the President of the Demolition Industry Association of Western Australia. I was also the first person to interview the new President of the Institute of Demolition Engineers, Adrian McLean. Over the course of the year, we worked with some of the biggest equipment brands on the planet, including Komatsu, Liebherr, Volvo, Bobcat, Steel Wrist, JCB, Kinshofer, and many, many more. But all of that is just about what we've sent out. What is far more meaningful is what we've received in return. Over the past year, I've received countless emails, text messages, social media messages, and even letters from around the world, many of them starting with the phrase, "I just wanted to say how much I enjoy the show." In addition to our core live audience in the UK, we now have regular viewers in Australia, New Zealand, the USA and across the globe, even though we broadcast at a time that was designed to suit the UK. But it's our UK audience that has propelled this show pretty much since day one. A little live stream that was created out of adversity has become a go-to daily destination for people across the sector. And a lot of that takes place away from the daily live show. Each time I switch on, I expect to see Gary, Ken, Dan, Jim, Chris, Alex, Peter, Mick, the other Mick, and a host of other show regulars. But each time I switch off, this show is consumed by thousands of industry professionals. Yet the continued growth and the increasing reach of this show all rests upon that firm foundation of the viewers and contributors that turn up each weekday morning. Those regulars that watch the films, comment on the content, and then listen to me ranting about one thing or another. Almost everything about this show has been shaped by you, and it's all the better for it. So, as we prepare to bid farewell to 2024, I just wanted to say a massive thank you for your support, your input, and your presence. We've got some big plans for 2025, including the Bauma exhibition and, of course, our 1000th episode, which should drop sometime in the summer. We've really enjoyed your company for the past 4.5 years. Hope to enjoy it even more in 2025. So thanks again. Now, let's go back to our usual surroundings. And there we are. It was chilly there. It really was. And you may have noticed that while the fire was moving, the dog and the cat were not. There's a reason for that. Let's have a look. Peter McKenna says, "Oh my God, that fire is definitely making me jealous. Could you hear it as well?" Yeah, I thought that was a nice touch. That's Fred's handiwork. Mark, at least you haven't tried getting a blowjob off a VAC-X. I think I know what you're hinting at there, Peter. No, I haven't. Mick says, watching Starmer answering questions from a committee yesterday, he got asked if 1.5 million houses was feasible given the skill shortage. After it was explained to him how short he was, he said, yes, it will happen. La La Land. Yes, La La Land indeed. I don't know. Do you ever wonder about that? We're in the deep end of the show now. This is I realise that wasn't a normal morning monologue, but do you ever wonder about that? At what point do you? We'll talk about politicians, but I think the same applies for celebrities as well. At what point do you get unapproachable? Like, you know, you're Keir Starmer and you stand up and we're going to build 1.5 million homes in 5 years. Under normal circumstances, you know, if I did that, if I stood up and said, you know, the industry could do that, there'd be queues of people saying, Mark, you're talking out your head again. Stop that. You're talking nonsense. But nobody does. Same as you see celebrities wearing, Lewis Hamilton as an example. Not a fan, to be honest, but Lewis Hamilton wears some weird shit. Now, don't get me wrong, I like a bit of fashion as much as the next bloke, but he wears some weird shit. At what point did he get so famous that people don't say, Lewis, you look a pillock, mate. Go and put a pair of jeans on. No, they don't. They just allow it to happen. Why is that? It's a two-way street, Mark, but you're the captain of the ship. Good Lord. Well, it's only a matter of time before we find a fucking iceberg then, and there'd be nothing without what you do. So thanks, Jim. Yeah, I really appreciate that. Do you know? Here's the thing, and I'm going all over the place here. Have you ever thought that you kind of save up these things? I'm not saying that, you know, I'm not expecting daily gratitude because, you know, it would get boring after a while and I'm probably a bit cringy. But like when famous people die. You know, when Prince died, for example, and everyone went, hey, he was really good. Could we not have said that while he was about? Michael Jackson, Elvis Presley. You know, why are we not phoning up Stevie Wonder now and saying, Stevie, just to let you know, before you do step off this mortal coil, you really, really are brilliant. And yet, Christmas rolls around and we're quite happy to say it. Amazing. Your welcome was a pleasure. It was amazing meeting you, having great conversations on here, and some great points were raised this last few years. Yeah. And funnily enough, I mean, I can prove it, but I've always had the notion that this show was being, I mean, I know it's being watched, but the way that the analytics work on YouTube, you can see, you know, where people drop off and you know, the bits that people maybe go back and rewatch, and you'd be surprised. Obviously, the peak of the show is at the beginning, and it does this. You know, gradually dips off because people have run out of time, or, you know, they've decided that's enough for a day. But then, near the end of the show, i.e. this bit, there's another peak. And the other peak is because people are skipping the videos and skipping the silly nonsense that we do. They're going straight to not the monologue, but the bit that comes after the morning monologue. And I've got, you know, documentary proof of that. But the number of times that people have, and it happened to me recently at the IDE AGM, people were saying, oh, you know, you were talking about this thing the other day. And I thought, well, I didn't write anything about that. I'd remember if I'd written about that, and it wasn't me. It was you lot. And it was just a thing that came up that struck a chord. And it struck a chord to the point where people are literally fast for, get rid of the pillock in the hat, let's go straight to the chat. That's what they're doing. I want to know why Starmer sounded different on that select committee compared to how he does in the Houses of Parliament. I didn't see it, so I can't comment on that. I've got an idea, says Mick. Why don't us lot get together for a piss-up, a bit like the NFDC do? I'm sure we could find a suitable place for us all to meet. I think that's a splendid idea. The only problem we've got with that is everybody is spread around the country. I know you and I are both in down south, but Gary's way up in the wilds of Scotland. We've got a couple of guys in the Midlands. Dan Cullen, frankly, is all over the shop. Would be hard to nail down, but if anybody's up for that, yeah, let's do that. Starmer is steadfast where the inheritance tax debacle, when asked if the Treasurer will be meeting with the farmers and businesses, he says, I don't control her diary. He said that, did he? Jim Turner. It's because they surround themselves with. I'll let you read that because YouTube will get upset otherwise, and that's when they start believing their own bollocks. And there's no one left to rein them in. Yeah, I imagine that though. I mean, I don't know if I've told it on this show before. I did a jaunt back in the day. I was invited to go over to Paris to see some hoists working. Yes, I get all the good gigs. So there were a couple of hoists working on the Arc de Triomphe right in the centre of Paris. And they had a very good PR man, and the very good PR man had decided, because London City Airport had just opened at that time, we'll jump on a plane, fly to Paris, we'll go and see these hoists, we'll go for a spot of lunch, and then we'll fly back again. So that was the plan. So I'm at London City Airport about 7:30 in the morning, and here is a man walking towards me with a glass and a bottle of champagne, and he handed me both. That's a good start to the day, 7:30 in the morning, whole bottle of champagne. So we're stood there glugging away and, jumped on the plane, not a problem. Got to Paris, not a problem. Drove to the Champs-Élysées, and the Arc de Triomphe had no hoists. They'd gone. They'd been gone for about 2 weeks at this point. So the guy, the PR man said, well, that's a bit of a shame. I'll get some photographs from the contractor that was working there, not a problem. We'll send you the words. So let's go for lunch. So we went for lunch. We went off and we had a very nice lunch. We carried on drinking the champagne and all was right with the world. I came home that night and literally from the airport went straight to the pub. Because at this point I was feeling no pain, and I was ready to carry on drinking. Walked in, and my mate Bruce, sadly no longer with us, but Bruce was a builder. And I walked in, and he said, "You all right?" I said, "Oh, fucking terrible day. I had to be up at dawn, went over to London City Airport, flew to Paris to see a thing that wasn't there, went out for lunch, and then came back. I spent hours at the airport." And his response to me was, I've had my head down somebody's toilet all day today. At which point you think, yeah, okay. So why hasn't Lewis Hamilton got one of those saying, Lewis, you're dressing like a clown, my friend. Sort it out. But he doesn't. Chris Swell says, used to go wife swapping parties years ago. Used to throw your keys in the middle and take your pick. Brought the wife home every year as there was never a set of digger keys. Well done. Well done. I actually thought we were going down a dark path for a second there. Good. All over the shop. Yeah, I am. To the point where, some people, like if I was heading up to, I don't know, Derbyshire way, go and see JCB, for example, I know roughly that, diary's allowing, I could probably swing by and meet up with Chris or with Jim. If I find myself in London and a loose end, I could call up Mick and I could find him. With Dan, not a clue. Not a clue. He could be anywhere. Mick says, most mornings I'm cleaning the house up or out with a hound. But I have to admit, this show gives me a lot of reasons to watch this. As Dan said, the laughs and sometimes deep conversations, most of all meet new people, makes my day. Cheers, Mark, and you lot out there. Wow, we have served a purpose, haven't we? Next UK thing is Newark Plant Works. Plenty of good pubs and eating places around there. Great road and rail access to, and local for me. Yeah, I'm not entirely. I don't know about Plant Works next year. Obviously, I'd like it to be a huge success, but following on after a Baumer, it's a tough act to follow, that is. And I would imagine that 99.9% of everything that's likely to be new and seen next year will have already made an appearance at Baumer, which is fine for me because, you know, I'll be doing both probably. But, yeah, we can call it the Demolition News Convention. I actually know a guy that would be the perfect chairman for that. I know a convention chairman. He's currently not doing much chairmaning or conventioning. Maybe that's a thought. Honestly, the way the typical celebrity dresses looks totally fine in comparison to the super ugly fashion shows where people walk down the runway wearing paper bags and junk. Yeah, there is a degree of that, isn't there? There is a degree of that. Demolition news hounds. Yes, that's what I consider myself. Which is why that's why I'm jowly, because I'm a demolition news hound. I think I don't know if anybody's got anything they'd like to say. I did say I'd do this, so let me do it very quickly. Bear with me 1 second. There we are. Very, very quickly, because I don't want to hold you up, because obviously we've got people going to parties and it is the end of the year. But there is a link for the chat. If you would like to actually jump on the show and have your say, you can do that. Just use that link. All it requires is an internet connection, a camera and a microphone, and you can do it just as easily on your phone, and it must be that way around, because otherwise you'll look weird. And you can just pop on and say your thing, and then you can go and do your business if you like. I'll keep the chat open just a little bit longer. Going to tidy up my screen because it's all got a little bit untidy during the show. Yeah, going to do next year. We're going to do obviously Baumer. That's one big thing. I can very quickly show you a thing. We are going to be doing. You remember we did sort of the road to Intermat and stuff like that. Well, we're doing the Mission to Munich next year, and it's being sponsored by MB Crusher. And they've already sent us the video clip that will go before our coverage of stuff that will be at Baumer. It looks like this. Yeah, get used to seeing that, because as soon as we start covering Baumer, which will be very early next year, there is a pre-Baumer meeting over in Munich in February. Not entirely sure if I'll be there, because we don't tend to get a great deal out of it. Now, just very, very quickly, we have a guest. And he looks like that. Morning, Peter. Can you hear us? Just very, very quickly, we have a guest. There is a delay. He's watching on the TV. And
Good morning.
There you go. He's
I
talking.
can hear you.
You can hear us loud and clear. Morning, Peter. How are you doing, my friend?
He's watching on the TV. Good morning.
There you go.
Yeah. Right. Just hang on. Turn that off. Right. Morning. Sorry about that.
That's better. Yeah, you're now live. That's working much better.
Oh, well, that's no sound. Just wishing you all Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year. Feeling a bit rough myself at the minute, but oh well, never mind.
Well, I don't know if you can hear me, Peter, but get well soon, my friend, and hope you're fitting well before Christmas. Just while you're there, your mate Dan Cullen's here as well. Doesn't matter how many times you tell Dan to put the phone the right way round, he's still doing it wrong. But good morning, Dan.
Good morning. How are we?
Morning, Dan.
Turn your phone round, Dan.
Oh dear! Trust the Irishman to create chaos. Brilliant.
You better believe it. There's only one way to do the Irish way.
So Merry Christmas to you, Dan.
Happy Christmas and a Happy New Year, and look forward to seeing you all in the new year.
Yeah, all the best, everybody.
That's not your party outfit, Dan, is it? You're not wearing that to a party, are you?
I'm going to a party now. Just leaving the house.
Wearing that? I thought you'd be in a tux or something.
Nah, fuck them tucks. Take me as you see me. If not, you can fake off.
Spoken like a true Irishman. Well, have a great time today, Dan.
I'm not one of them.
Oh, I think he's frozen. Have a great time, Dan, anyway. I'm going to take you off the screen very quickly. What do we got here over in the chat? We're not... We're not ringing Stevie Wonder while he's ironing. Do you reckon Stevie Wonder does his own ironing? I don't suppose he does for one moment. Mick says, before I forget, gents, wishing you all a very Merry Christmas and a great New Year. You too, my friend. And he's here. He's here in person. Morning, Mick. Either he's frozen or he's sitting very still. Can you hear me, Mick? No, we've got no sound at all from Mick. No, not sure what's going on there. Anyway, Mick, I don't know if you can hear me. I certainly can't hear you, but Merry Christmas to you, my friend. Have a great time in Malta. Enjoy your swordfish and rabbit stew, which sounds fantastic, by the way. And have a great Christmas. I'll see you very, very soon. And that pretty much wraps up things for the year, I think. Why don't we all go and make merry, or whatever it is that we do this time of year. I'm going to go and help my wife wrap some presents. I think that's probably a good idea. Keep me out of the doghouse for a little bit longer. Everybody have a fantastic Christmas. Really appreciated your company over today's show, but also over the past year. More of the same next year. But until then, have a fantastic Christmas. Have a Merry Christmas, safe Christmas, and have a prosperous New Year, and a healthy one as well. That's a bagel. What's a bagel? I have no idea. Okay, everybody, have a fantastic festive period. I'll see you in the new year, and thanks once again. And Mick has just said, catch you later, gents. Perfect way to sign off. Catch you later, gents. See you in 2025.